I think it's pretty amazing. Donald Trump went where most Republicans don't go. He went to the South Bronx. They voted 83% for Joe Biden in 2020. Why did he go there? Because he understands that these are people who are fed up with the policies that are failing them, failing their families, failing their futures. They recognize that the cost of inflation means they have less money in their pocket and they have a lot more expenses than they did when Donald Trump was president. That doesn't matter whether it's groceries, gas, rent, whatever it is. They also know crime is out of control where they live because the Democrats and the far left have decided that let's coddle the criminals and let's really do the punishment on the law-abiding citizens. So if a lady gets hit in the back of the head with a brick while walking down the streets of New York, chances are the criminal's back on the street before the lady has the stitches put in her brain. That's just the kind of stuff people are sick of. So I'm not surprised, but Donald Trump is defying all political gravity by what he's doing. I thought his speech last night was maybe his best ever. It was unifying. It was everything Joe Biden's speeches are not. Donald Trump, the way I best put it is this, Bianca. Donald Trump sounds like a person who's going somewhere. Joe Biden sounds like a person who's sorry he's been.
Well put. And you talked about a place that many politicians don't go. Their governor, Kathy Hochul, had this to say about the people who were gathering with CNN's Jake Tapper. Let's play this, Governor.
And invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president. He wants to spend his time doing these made-up fake rallies and pretending their support here. Be my guest, because while you're doing that, Donald Trump, Joe Biden's out there on the other side, making sure he's delivering for all Americans.
Invite all his clowns. She said that terrible comment about kids not knowing what a computer is. And I also have to say, Jake Tapper is going to be moderating a debate in a few weeks. There's no pushback there, Governor. This is what we're going to see, I guess, when Donald Trump takes the stage with Joe Biden.
Sadly, Jake Tapper is a Democrat hack. So, no, he's not going to play it straight or fair. He's going to be the Judge Merchant of debate moderators, which is absurd. It's just ridiculous. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Donald Trump will go play whatever the rules are, wherever it is, whoever's moderating, whatever network, and he will absolutely wipe the floor in the debate. There's not going to be much of a contest. Joe Biden? I kind of feel sorry for him. He's going to go in there. They'll have to lead him onto the stage during the break. They'll have to come, lead him off if he needs to go to the restroom. It's not going to be pretty for Joe Biden. But I think a lot of America will finally get to see the contrast between a competent Donald Trump and a completely addled Joe Biden.
Yeah, and for her to call these people clowns, I think, was sort of like a deplorables moment for Hillary Clinton. I do want to talk about Biden holding a news conference yesterday. Couldn't even answer a question. He's standing next to the president of Kenya. Let's play a little bit of what went down at the White House.
What was my question?
He got lost. I mean, as you mentioned, the debate stage, but also in the wider scheme of things, next week, we know a jury will be deliberating. So they have to decide if they want this man to continue being the leader of the free world or someone, whether or not he's convicted or not. You know, there's some real issues in this country and the world, as you know. And Joe Biden, every step of the way, seems to be not capable of the leadership that the people are just craving, that we saw last night in the Bronx, Governor.
Well, he doesn't give a lot of leadership, and when he does, it's all wrong. I mean, what he's tried to do to Israel is absolutely embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the United States that Joe Biden keeps talking about we're ironclad with Israel. And then they undermine him at every step and talk about the two-state solution, which is ridiculous, and trying to push Israel to have a different election for a new leader right in the middle of a war, and telling them what they can and can't do to try to get the hostages back. It would be nice if Joe would talk about the hostages. After all, 5 of them are American, and he has done very little to get those Americans out of there, but he sure is interested in trying to tell Israel how to run a war when he botched the pullout of Afghanistan so horribly that even his own military people advised him against it. But he did it anyway because, as Robert Gates famously said, there isn't a foreign policy decision in the past 50 years that Joe Biden hasn't been wrong on.